Russian fighter jets and 2 military helicopters were shot down on Saturday not far from the Ukrainian border, according to the Russian news outlet Kommersant. On its website, Kommersant said that a raiding group consisting of a Su-34 fighter bomber, a Su-35 fighter, and 2 Mi-8 helicopters had been shot down almost simultaneously in an ambush in the Bryansk region, which borders northeast Ukraine. According to preliminary data, the fighters were supposed to deliver a missile and bomb attack on targets in the Chernihiv region of Ukraine, and the helicopters were there to back them up, among other things to pick up the Tsu crews if they were shot down. The Russian state news agency TASS said a Russian Su-34 warplane had crashed in that region but did not specify a cause. An emergency services representative was also quoted by TASS as claiming that a helicopter's engine fire led it to crash close to Klintsy, which is roughly 40 kilometers, 25 miles, from the border. The Su-35 or a second chopper were not mentioned. Details of the President Zelensky's meeting with the Pope today in the Vatican have been tweeted. Concerned about Chinese and Russian military cooperation in Asia, Japan claims that these two nations are strengthening their joint exercises. Since the start of the war in Ukraine, according to Foreign Minister Yoshimasa Hayashi, the security situation in Europe and the Indo-Pacific area has been unbreakable. Russia's invasion has shaken the very foundation of the international order, and Vladimir Putin must face a united response from the worldwide community, he told international ministers in Sweden. In addition, China and Russia are strengthening their military collaboration, including joint flights of their bombers and joint naval exercises in the vicinity of Japan, Hayashi said. To aid Moscow's fight in Ukraine, the head of Russia's Federal Anti-Crime Agency proposed that important economic sectors be given back to the government. According to Reuters, Moscow has already taken assets or bought them from several Western companies who have left Russia or reduced their operations since the invasion at a steep price. We are essentially talking about economic security in a war, Alexander Bastrikin, head of the investigative committee, told a conference that was streamed online. Let's go along the path of nationalizing the main sectors of our economy. As Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky traveled to Rome to visit Pope Francis for the first time since Russia's invasion, Ukraine reportedly reclaimed at least a km of territory in the eastern city of Bakhmut amid a purported Russian departure from the region, according to Lorenzo Tonda and Luke Harding. According to the UK Ministry of Defence, Russian soldiers from the 72nd Separate Motor Rifle Brigade, 72 SMRB, may have evacuated, in bad order, from their positions on the Bakhmut operation's southern flank over the previous 4 days. According to British intelligence, the action was a reflection of Moscow's dearth of efficient military units. In its latest intelligence briefing posted on Twitter, the MOD wrote, 72 SMRB is an element of Russia's 3rd Army Corps, a formation created in autumn 2023, sick, and dogged with allegations of poor morale and limited combat effectiveness. Volodymyr Zelensky arrived in Italy on Saturday for talks with the Prime Minister, Giorgia Meloni, President Sergio Mattarella and Pope Francis. The trip is Zelensky's first to Italy since Russia invaded on February 24 last year. Meloni has promised Italy's full support to Ukraine in its efforts to repel Russia's brutal and unjust aggression. Speaking alongside Zelensky on Saturday, Meloni said Italy would continue to supply Ukraine with weapons and back his country for as long as is necessary. We are betting on Ukraine's victory, Meloni said.